Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special preview episode of Subscription Scaled. I am joined by Josh Mathers as my co-host. Josh, welcome.
Thanks, Nick. Nice to be here again.
Well, I'm really excited. This is very different for us. We are going to be doing a very interesting episode of Subscription Scaled live from the Payments Ed conference in July from Washington, D.C. Never done a live episode before, so this should be interesting, I guess is the right word. But really looking forward to it. Have you ever done a live episode before, Josh?
I've never done a live episode, so really looking forward to being up on stage with the crowd, with a bunch of people, all payments people too, and sharing live. It'll be really fun.
Absolutely. I've done live episodes before, certainly not from the main stage at a conference. So even that's going to be a bit different from a logistical perspective. But before we get into what we're going to be talking about, you're on the board of Payments Ed. Why don't you tell anybody who might be listening who doesn't know what Payments Ed is and what it's all about?
Yeah, so Payments Ed Forum this is our 35th year of doing conferences. It started out as a direct response forum, was the name of the organization 35 years ago. But it's really all serving card not present merchants is really the legacy and continue to be our focus. It's a show that is put on by merchants for merchants in the card not present industry. There is a very heavy, over time, there's become a very heavy subscription base to that. But it is payments focused. It is subscriptions focused for a large extent of things. We have no selling, like very unique to most conferences. We don't have any bigger booths. We don't have selling. It's pure education, networking. Come and talk to other merchants. All of our sessions that we do are educational, right? No selling from stages or any of that type of stuff. So great opportunity for merchants and providers to get out and figure out what are merchants doing out in the industry, what's working, what's not working, and kind of build their network of people that they can interact with throughout the year, which honestly, to me, and Nick, I know you've attended for a number of years yourself, so I'd love to get your perspective. But the most value I've gotten out of Payments Ed is the individual networking connections where I'm seeing something happening and I can shoot an email or make a phone call and say, are you seeing this? Or help me out. And getting that support has been just tremendous for me.
100%. And that just no selling environment focused on education. Well, I know that happens at other conferences, not to take anything away from them, but the fact that that is the focus of Payments Ed gives a very different vibe compared to any others, because it really is it's about networking. It's about what's going on in the industry, the trends, and to your point, developing those relationships that you can leverage later to ask, hey, we just saw some big spike in declines coming from this bank. Are you seeing the same thing? Those types of people that you're going to be able to interact with because you met them at Payments Ed and they're in similar positions is just extremely valuable. I was thinking as you were talking about when did I first go to Payments Ed, and I'm scared to say it was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to admit that, but that is unfortunately the truth. But that does say a lot about the longevity of the organization. It's not a huge show, it's nothing like, the big money 2020s or things like that are out there. But that is kind of one of the things that makes it great. It's very intimate. You're going to get to know most of the people there, or at least be at 1 degree removed from just about anybody there that you want to talk to. So yeah, for sure. Very, very unique education focused conference, great sessions. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, being on the board and talking to the education committee, what types of things are attendees going to be hearing about this year?
Yeah, really, it's kind of across the board, right? There will be a lot of things on optimization of payments, right? Whether that's authorization rates, costs, some product technology sessions that we're going to have this year. A number of things on the main stage that we have, Visa, MasterCard,
always good
providers, right? Like really giving some more high level industry information, some legal sessions for people who like to hear legal updates. Got a really good legal speaker that comes pretty much every year and gives updates. There's fraud, there's chargebacks, there's I mean, we really run the gamut of discussion, international topics, network tokenization. And then one of the things that's probably our biggest hit would be our merchant only talks, which I would say there are kind of two flavors of them. There's a merchant only roundtable, where it's just merchants in a room sharing best practices or ideas or thoughts or whatnot, which our merchant attendees absolutely love. And then there's also what we call fireside chats, where it's merchants with Visa, with MasterCard in a almost like one-on mini room, right? Where it's Visa in the room with only merchants, where merchants can open up and ask questions and really interact with them. And those are things that we've done that we've had a lot of success with, right? Those conversations can go a number of different directions, right? But
I'm sure everyone will have to read between the lines there, but those are certainly some of the best attended sessions every year at the conference. But let's talk about what is sure to be the most anticipated event at the conference this year, which is our session.
That's right.
Where, from the main stage at lunch on Tuesday. So that's going to be at 12:30. Lunch starts at 12:15. So you can grab a plate and then sit down. But from the main stage, you and I are going to sit down with a panel of guests that we are going to bring from a diverse set of backgrounds. We have a couple of names that we'll be announcing pretty soon. But our topic is on harmonizing internal teams, the key to subscription business success. And what that really comes down to, right, is where within an organization does payments sit? And oftentimes this is referred to as billing operations, subscription operations. It's got a lot of different names, but the people who are really charged with looking after that recurring revenue that is the lifeblood of any subscription company. You and I have both been on the merchant side of this. I know for my part, I've sat within finance, I've sat within operations, I've been within IT, and there are pros and cons to all of those things. And I think you've seen a lot of the same too, right, Josh?
Yeah. Within IT, within product, within finance, within accounting, which sometimes is separate from finance, within customer support, right? Within operations, it kind of can be anywhere, which I think speaks to a lot of the complexity that is around this role in general. But it's kind of, I mean, me personally, I've reported to a lot of different or up through a lot of different organizations.
As have I. Yeah. I'm throwing an abstract up on the screen here for anybody that wants to look at it. But I think, regardless of where it sits, and you and I have both been bounced around, as have many others that are going to be in attendance there and on the stage. It's a collaborative effort no matter what. You're going to talk to just about every department within the organization. Because payments affects everybody, or everybody affects payments is another way of saying it. But I think that's part of what we're going to spend a lot of time diving into, is not just where do you sit and why do you sit there, meaning within the organization, but it's about how you work across the aisle or between the floors within your organization, right? How all of those things come together.
Yeah, totally. I think that's very well said. And I also think there's this other thing that I found interesting that, I think we're going to touch on is what level of the organization are you, regardless of what department you're in, but what level are you at, right? Because there's so many different competing priorities and things that go into that. And like having a seat at the right table at the right time to help make decisions and provide guidance is really important. So making sure that you're not only positioned well within the company, right, but that you can get a seat at the table, right, becomes very, very important to have an effective billing payments program from a subscription standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, we've done podcast episodes kind of around this topic before, and I think the thing that anyone in this role needs to be able to do is communicate effectively and build relationships, because you can't achieve your personal goals for the organization without the help of other people. It just can't be done. You can't affect everything on your own. So working together is kind of the key to making it all work. But again, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun, and doing it live from the stage where we can take questions from the audience. So if you're interested in this topic, first thing I would do is definitely try to attend the conference if you're not already. Josh is going to provide a discount code that we'll put in the comments here of our post about how to take advantage of a discount for merchants. But if you are unable to attend, we are going to be broadcasting this live. So you'll be able to tune in on Tuesday, July 30th at 12:30 to listen in, again, directly from the main stage. Josh and myself hosting with a couple of other merchants. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We know our guests pretty well, and I think it's going to be a great group coming together.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to talk to them and get their perspective, right? I think that's the one thing that is really going to be a good takeaway is different merchants, different perspectives, people asking questions, and that live format is really going to be great. So looking forward to having everybody there, either in person or following in live. Would be great.
Absolutely. I mean, we've done all of these episodes, over 100 episodes of Subscription Scaled, where we've talked to people typically over Zoom or something virtual. But this is going to be a pretty unique experience, directly looking at our guests and kind of having that conversation. So it's going to be different, but it's going to be fun. Be sure to tune in July 30th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And we look forward to seeing you then.
Absolutely.